Hello and welcome to episode 142 of the DaebakCast. This is a weekly podcast where we come together each week to talk about K-pop and whatever's current in the K-pop industry. This week we got some interesting topics, I think. First couple are traditional, second two are kind of housekeeping to kind of tell you guys what's up, what's going to happen in the future and whatnot. You probably already can tell from the title of the video or the episode. But yeah. So, as always, I'm joined by Nate.
It's coming, get ready. Whatever, EXO. That's what you want.
Oh Lord.
It's pretty
Oh Lord, he coming.
questionable lyrics.
I am also joined by Andrew, who usually has three things. Don't know if he does this week, but
I don't know. I'm just here. Yeah, I'm just.
Nope.
Andrew is just here. He's back.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yes. And I'm Jacob. Blono is right here on the shelf. So yeah.
What'd you do with the Tiffany? Oh, it's back. It's there. Okay. Yeah, it's down there. I saw it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at this glory. Look at this glory.
It's signed, right?
Yeah, it's signed. I should just show it every week and be like, hey guys. But yeah, anyways, this week we're gonna be starting off with Mama results, EXO album review, and then what's been going on with Andrew. Yep, housekeeping, what's been going on with Andrew, and then also we'll be talking about the future of Truly Daebak as we go into our fourth year, which sounds crazy to me.
Ew.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like we started this when it was my freshman year of college, and
You're
now
about to graduate now.
So like, yeah, so it's kind of crazy. So yeah, I guess before we start, please subscribe if you like our content. Please give us comments. We love the feedback. We like to hear your input on our discussions and the things we talk about. Please join our Discord. It's a great community. There's a lot of really cool people on there. It's the best way to get a hold of us and kind of get our input on other things. We got lots of, different other topics to talk about. Like we have video games, movies. Andrew likes to talk in the Fighting Sports channel a lot. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Happened. Yeah, like it just like some dude lost their heavyweight title today. So.
Oh really?
Big news.
So yeah, join Discord. It's Mucho Lit. And yeah, am I missing anything, Nate?
No, I think we're good.
No.
All right, let's get started. Topic 1. Mama happened.
Yep, and it was a mess. So
yes, as it is every year.
If nothing happened, can it really be considered a mess?
Well, yeah, I guess it wasn't a mess. It was boring. So yeah, we did last episode, 2 episodes ago. We did our predictions.
Yep.
And they were wrong. And they were wrong.
They were wrong, but some of our prediction, one thing in particular was like correct for the most part.
Yeah. So basically, the big news, the big boring news, is that BTS won all of
everything.
The day songs. So that like never happens. But
usually
no,
they split.
I think they're the
least
first in
top
history
3.
to do that.
Yeah.
what my thought about it is, they for once didn't rig it.
Yeah.
And because
probably.
they didn't rig it, BTS won everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
because they couldn't bother, or like they couldn't have it end up being another controversy with Produce 101 stuff.
Yeah, like the last thing they need is another voting manipulation controversy on top of everything that's been going on with Produce 101 and Produce 48 and that sort of thing. So they probably just like, okay, just let them go through. And if you look at the criteria of just how much they valued like either fan voting or sales, especially sales is gonna be immediately in BTS's favor just because they do like their numbers are bonkers. Just even for like regular like music, even for Western quote unquote music, like their sales numbers are insane. So it's
I mean they top iTunes charts. They top iTunes charts in the U.S. even. So like it's no question.
There's no competition. So
I just like, for me, like if you're gonna rig it every year to like actually give out day songs to different artists, which I think you should do, you shouldn't rig it. You should just make that a rule. Like you can't get multiple day songs as
instead of just, if they're gonna do it anyway, might as well just not do it in secret. Because I mean,
they could.
It was kind of an open secret, or it was kind of an open like knowledge sort of thing, like for years now. Like it's not even just recent knowledge, just because of the voting scandal or whatever. Like everyone, like going back even like 4 or 5 years ago, everyone knew that they've been doing that. So
I think instead they need to, at least in my opinion, I would like this better, is like build some sort of like quote unquote academy for K-pop specifically, where it's, you know, people who are, whether it's maybe invite like journalists or something who are like really big into it, who know what they're talking about, who know the context behind things being released, who know, like, I don't know, who listen to everything, I guess. So
it's hard though. Yeah.
It is hard. I mean, I'm not talking about like listening to like literally everything, because that's impossible. But like, you know, most of the large swath of what the general public will see, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, the thing. There's no real Grammys equivalent to Korean music, because I mean, pretty much almost every. Because I mean, there's a billion award shows for music in Korea, but like there's like MMAs or whatever, like Mamas or Golden Disc. All of them are, to some degree or another, it's glorified advertising. Basically, everyone.
Yeah, that's all award shows are.
Yeah, it's either somebody is like in cahoots, or they're just sort of friendly to specific artists or labels or whatever. There's no such thing as an objective like. Academy, like sort of like something removed from the actual recording industry itself. So it'd be, that's why, like, obviously people, you can only put so much weight behind such and such won a Mama award or whatever, because obviously they'll have favorites, or most people pay attention to this show and not some other shows and that sort of thing. So that's why at this point I just really don't give a shit who wins. Like, in all honesty.
Like, I'm okay with them winning Artist of the Year, Worldwide Icon of the Year. That's totally obvious. Like, that's
I feel like,
hands down, right?
Is Worldwide Icon of the Year a thing? Like, since when did that become
apparently,
a day
song? It says they won thing. That, apparently.
I just feel like...
considered a new day song.
I just feel like
they probably... They definitely invented that, so in case BTS didn't win the other three, they
I
get
feel
that
like, that's an invention to sort of give BTS a day song, I feel. And I mean, it's not... Again, no surprise.
They totally need those.
I mean, you should know going. I mean, what is it that I think I said this last year from in regards to Mama? It's like that new Vegas line. The game was rigged from the start or whatever. Like basically, like that's the thing. Like obviously they're going to have. Just because of who shows up, like obviously, I still think despite not rigging awards, they're not going to be inclined to give it to anyone from either SM or YG, because obviously they feel that Mnet and Mnet is competition. So obviously, and they're friendly with JYP and Big Hit, so that's why all those artists are going to be getting mad awards and have a lot of screen time and everything.
SM won a decent amount of stuff this year, though. They're
Baekhyun. Taeyeon.
Negative.
That's it though. Like
Wavy.
Really, like
no,
like,
EXO,
I think that
Wavy.
EXO, Wavy.
Wavy only won.
I mean, Wavy's
just
not.
Each of them only won once.
Wavy got an award for being Chinese. That's it. Really, they give away awards just to like for anyone who showed up, basically. So. As G-Dragon first insinuated.
The only day song I really have an issue with, is the Album of the Year award. Like,
I don't know. I don't think they should have won Album of the Year or Song of the Year.
Yeah,
well, like, sure, song. I don't hate Boy with Love, but
no,
like,
I don't hate. I don't hate the album either.
I honestly the more I listen to it, the more I dislike the Persona album.
Yeah,
just because you guys can go back and watch my review. It's just like I'm disappointed with the lack of progression on their part. I want to see them innovate more, but yeah. It's just.
I mean, I liked
They don't need to
Persona
at this
a
point,
lot.
though.
I thought it was better than some the recent albums, but it's not album of the year, and Boy with Love isn't song of the year. Like I think it's like you said, they need some sort of like
there's no
body of critics that vote on these things that take into account more than just sales and fan votes. Like
again, like my issue with it,
interesting way to give out awards.
My issue with it is it not being bad. It's being so overwhelmingly okay.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
With the expectations you have of BTS, they can't really get away with overwhelmingly okay. Because you expect a lot. Because I mean, yeah, they've had one incredible album stretching back for years now. So anything short of I guess it's a victim of like their own like high bar of expectations, that anything short of excellent is just sort of disappointing. But I mean, I used to be like, back when I first started, I used to be really like obsessed with like, oh, who wins such and such award, or why is EXO winning, and why is like BTS winning instead of like again, like I said before, it's glorified advertising. And I mean, they just basically whoever wins is sort of just to the benefit of getting eyes on the award show, basically. Like, I know, like, there'd just be a huge outrage if BTS didn't win anything. I mean, granted, again, they have a huge voting block, so with how much they take into account fan voting, it's obviously going to be BTS, obviously, because they have such a huge fan base. But I mean, I wish there was an award show that was on the scale of Mama that didn't take fan voting into account. I mean,
well, it's not even fan voting; it's just sales.
Sales, yeah, because I mean, sales.
It's like
selling the most. Like, we got into this. I don't know if you guys discussed this or not. I haven't been watching the show, unfortunately. But like that whole like blow up of, oh my God, BTS didn't get nominated for a Grammy. I mean, people were sort of trying to justify, sales. They sold a lot. I mean,
yeah, it's not selling. The Grammys aren't about sales. Yeah,
selling a lot of selling the most doesn't necessarily mean you're objectively the best. Like,
well, there are artists who win Grammys who don't sell that much at all.
Yeah. There are artists that win like huge, like the general categories they're super niche, and they don't you don't hear them on the radio. But and that doesn't. I don't think that'll ever really exist in K-pop, just because again, there's so much much of it is just, it's still there's not as much of it's not as much of a respected art form as it is just a huge sort of capitalist conglomerate that sort of there to sort of print money, basically. So like the art comes second to that. I mean, I guess it's kind of what we're trying to do with Truly Daebak Awards. We're trying to just sort of make it okay. It doesn't matter who sells the most or who has the biggest fandom that can bribe us or whatever. Yeah. It's who we think is the best.
Personally, love the best.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, again, we're not saying we're like the Recording Academy of Korea or anything. It's just there's nothing like it that exists, so that's why we wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I don't really have much to say about the awards. So
I think for me, like the biggest problem with it is, one, it's boring. Like, sure, all you get hyped up, and like all BTS fans are gonna be really happy because they won a bunch of awards, but everyone else is just like, okay, this is like
who didn't expect this?
Yeah, everyone expects it, and then if you don't implement those rules of either it's not just about sales and fan votes, or you can only get one day song a year.
Yeah. Then they're outraged because they didn't win everything.
Then the BTS is going to win all four every year for the next foreseeable future. Like, this isn't going to change anytime soon. So it's going to be even more boring every year that this happens until basically finally overtakes them. If that ever happens. Until they go to the military, basically.
Until they... BTS could probably release a single song in the entire year, and they'd still probably end up finding their way.
And they'd still get win album of the year somehow. Again, it's just
without releasing an album.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bound to happen. They're the most popular group. So yeah, it's kind of like, again, like compare this to sports. It's why a lot of people stop watching basketball because the Golden State would win every year, or why people don't like the Patriots because they win every year, or why people don't like, I don't know, like any basically huge team, or like why people don't like Manchester United or Manchester City or whatever.
Yankees,
they win every year. Yankees, that baseball, that sort of thing gets boring, so.
Yeah. So I'll just go through the rest of them, and we can, if we have anything or what we expected. Best male groups, BTS, obviously. Best female groups, Twice, obviously.
Yep.
Male artist was Baekhyun, and female artist was Chungha.
I think you skipped over rookies.
I'm looking at. Soompi. I'm on Soompi's page, and they don't have rookies.
I can read it off. I'm on the M-Wave website.
For some reason, Soompi missed them.
I can just read. So yeah, Artist of the Year, BTS. Song of the Year, BTS. Boy Will Love. Album of the Year, Map of the Soul Persona, BTS. Worldwide Icon of the Year is BTS. Best New Male Artist, TXT. Best New Female Artist, ITZY. No surprises.
Oh there. No, yeah, they were down there.
So BTS and Twice won Best Groups. Baekhyun and Chungha Best Male and Female Artists respectively. Best dance performance was Gotta Go by Chungha. Best dance performance for group male group was BTS, Boy With Love. Best dance performance for female group was Fancy by Twice. Best vocal performance solo was Four Seasons by Taeyeon. Why didn't they not like why did they pick Four Seasons instead of like Spark or something? That's weird. I don't know.
They probably, Four Seasons.
Maybe they cut off.
Four Seasons was a pretty big hit, like in Korea. Like it would play everywhere when I was there.
Best vocal performance group is Bolbolgansa and Bom. Best band performance is Janabi for Lovers Who Hesitate. Wow, Janabi getting awards. Good for them. Best hip hop and urban. It's the Haze category basically. Haze is one for It's either Haze or urban, Dean. Yeah. Haze has won that category for like 3 years in a row or something like that. Best collaboration, Isora Song Request featuring Suga, BTS. Best OST.
we said Suga's name was in there. It's gonna win.
Yeah,
like
he had two options.
There was one featuring, and there was one that he produced
by him.
Yeah.
And we figured that this one would win because he's actually featured on it.
Yeah. So, best OST is Remember Me from the Hotel Del Luna soundtrack by Gummy.
Yep.
Best music video is Boy With Love by BTS. Worldwide Fans Choice. Worldwide Fans Choice is just like the free awards that they give to the people that show up, right? So, like ATEEZ, Blackpink, EXO, and GOT7. And TXT and Twice and Monster X and
X1
BTS.
got an award.
X1, they didn't even show up. They got an award. Good for them.
They won't exist.
Yeah, World Performer, Monster X. Favorite vocal performance, Mamamoo. Favorite dance performance, GOT7. I guess I would have given that to 17. I don't know if they were available for an award like that. Favorite male artist, BTS. For female artist, Twice. Dua Lipa gets an award because she was there.
Yeah, she just showed up.
Wavy gets an award for being Chinese. Breakthrough Achievement, 17. It makes sense, I guess.
So
the Asian categories, I don't know. There's nothing really.
You can skip
much.
On the regular winners,
random other stuff.
On the regular winners, just as we thought, Eyes won nothing. And X1 pretty much won nothing. They just
because how bad would it have looked if Eyes won?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right? That's
like
what
they
we
probably
were saying, yeah.
like. I would not be surprised if they like quote unquote reverse rigged it so that X1 or Eyes 1 couldn't possibly win any awards just because of the optics of like how bad it'd look if one of their artists got an award amidst the controversy. So
yeah,
I mean,
oof.
So yeah, I don't know.
Did you want to talk about any of the performances?
I haven't actually had a chance to watch them yet. So
I mean. The only really
other than looking at the thumbnails and seeing Hwasa's hideous Jared Leto Joker hair.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
so
like,
bad.
Hwasa's the only one with the bad hair, or weird hair color. But like, I mean, Solar's outfit was nice. It kind of reminds me of. Did you remember Kim Possible? Like the one of the Shigo, like the girl that. Oh my god, like she looks like Shigo basically. I don't know. I'd say probably the only standout performance would probably be like the JYP and Mamamoo collaboration. That might be one of the best like Mama stages I've ever seen. Like period. And I've been watching for 4 years. It's just because. You know, a lot of the time they say, "Oh, Mama collaboration." It's usually just they perform and then the other person performs. Like they don't actually collaborate. You know, this one they were actually doing like interesting, mashups. Like they did an amazing mashup of "Who's Your Mama" and "Yes I Am."
Yeah.
Which was just incredible. And you had like Wheein and Moonbyul do backing vocals for "You're the One." Moonbyul singing and everything. It's like that's definitely a stage worth watching if you haven't had a chance to see it. I mean, other than that, everything is just people sort of, doing their songs basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Hwasa had
one other thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, shout out to Jihyo's new hairstyle.
Oh
it's like
my
short
god,
and blonde. She looks really good. Like
yeah, I did like Feel Special. This Feel Special like R&B sort of remix was nice. Yeah, and it was sort of like the tribute to Mina and everything because she was absent. But yeah, Jihyo's that's another thing that stood out to me. Jihyo with short blonde hair looks incredible. So, obviously Twice, BTS, they did their performances and everything. BTS loves doing older songs. So yeah, they did No and No and We Are Bulletproof Part 2. Other than that, I mean, there wasn't really anything else that stood out for me. Did you get to see any of the performances? Other performances, Jacob, or?
I saw Twice. I saw a little bit of the Mamu one. I didn't watch it all the way through. I think. I also watched the Dua Lipa and Hwasa.
That was barely a collaboration, though. It was just Hwasa covering New Rules, and then like Dua Lipa did her own
shows
song.
up.
Yeah, like. No, it's not like they didn't. They should have sang New Rules together. I don't know why. Mama insists on like that being a collaboration.
Dude, Mama, freaking, they trash the international collaborations every time. I still don't forgive them for the "See You Again" performance. I want it now. I wanted it so bad.
I don't know. It's just they just need somebody to get clout for, or to get international, or people that aren't K-pop fans to watch. I guess. I don't know, but I mean,
Wiz Khalifa.
yeah, fuck Wiz Khalifa, I guess. But I mean, it's kind of sad. I know reducing it to one day makes it easier for the artists, but it's just not as interesting in terms of performances if there aren't 3 days worth of performances.
Yeah.
I honestly, to be honest, I don't really like that they like split it up. I prefer the old format where they just kept it one day.
So like
one location.
Like now.
And in Hong Kong they used to do every time.
Well, they couldn't do it in Hong Kong now because Hong Kong's on fire.
Yeah.
So
Obviously. Yeah.
But I mean there was discussion of whether or not they could even do it in Japan just because of how poor Korean and Japanese relations have been just this year. But, I mean, like they still did it in Japan. They did it in Nagoya, if I remember correctly, in like a baseball stadium, which looked awesome, by the way. Because I mean, like most baseball stadiums, they're like indoors and like they seat like 40,000 people. So it's like a dome tour essentially, and we haven't really had Mama in that big of a we haven't really had like Mama Japan or at least like 2019 or whatever in that big of a stage before, like because I mean they did Saitama Super Arena, they do like the one in Hong Kong, so it's always kind of tiny, but. They could. No surprise that they sold out or they filled up a venue that size. So.
Yep.
Anything else, Nate? Or
no, I'm good. I just mostly wanted to talk about that stuff we already talked about. So I'm good.
Yeah, I really don't care about the awards anymore. I just care about performances, and there's only really one or two good performances. So, do you care about the awards? Do you like any of the performances? Let us know in the comments.
Yep. Also, let us know what your favorite performances were if we missed anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that, we can get into topic 2, which is our review of the new EXO album, Obession.
Yep.
Who's reading this?
No idea.
I guess I can.
Jacob can. Yeah.
All right. So starting off this album is the title track of the same name, Obession. It's like a very hard-hitting like hip hop and R&B track. It's very much an EXO track. I really like the like pitched up like samples that they use throughout the track. I thought that was kind of cool. The vocal samples.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So cool.
The robotic effects they use in their voice in this track is also pretty interesting, and I think it's a much better choice over like the run-of-the-mill auto-tune that they definitely could have just used. The vocal breakdown in the bridge was also really great. Like Chen's vocals like just kill you every time, I feel like. So yeah, overall it's really good title track. I'd say it's not as catchy as other ones they've had in the past, but I think it's still like a really, really solid title track for this album.
I I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. So I think like I don't hate the sample part, but I think it went too long in the intro. Like where it was just that going on its own.
You just got a little bored of it.
Yeah, like it just felt like I was like, just do something. Like, when is the song actually gonna start? Like, it just kept going. And then the robotic stuff that you talked about, it reminds me too much of Suju. It sounds very like Suju-ish.
Like old Suju. Like,
yeah,
like Sexy
it very
Free and
much
Single
does.
or like Bonamana or something.
Yeah. And so I was like, this is weird. And then like the part after that is really good. Like, basically I enjoyed all the parts with actual singing. I think there's like really good harmonies and high parts. But I think overall it's just a little too busy for its own good, if that makes sense. There's just like too much going on.
A different song.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's something that didn't do it for me. I really like the instrumentals. I like the really deep synths and bass for the instrumentals, but the vocals are just like, there's just too many different parts like stitched together. It felt a little disjointed for me.
Gotcha.
And then for the music video, like, I don't know, the concept is pretty much like, it's nothing we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
The choreo is like nothing crazy. It was a little disappointing for such a like big group.
Yeah, so for me, obviously being the biggest EXO fan, this haven't like Obsession actually took a bit in terms of like trying to grow on me, because at first I was just like, like I don't know if I liked it as much. I'd say sort of the crux of that is one, their vocal dynamics kind of different when you're missing, you know, Jumin and Dio, and I guess Lei.
Yeah.
I mean, to some degree, but I mean, Lei's too busy, you know, prostrating before the overlords in mainland China. Free Hong Kong, revolution of our time. Anyway, yeah, so it sort of felt a bit different in terms of just like how the vocals sounded. Also, this definitely sort of is pushing their sound a bit, I feel, even more than like Tempo did. Also, I'd say the main part of what makes this song sort of like jarring at first is there's no traditional chorus. There's no real like hook to it. It sort of just like goes into like the chorus, and it sort of ends up like going back into verses, and there's not really, you know, anything too like identifiable of that nature. But I mean, I came around to it eventually just because of how good the vocals are, especially in that chorus, especially the harmonies and just like the back and forth of I don't think so. Like, that part is really cool. I love the obviously I'm a huge fan of vocal chopping and sort of that sort of repeated sample, so I didn't find it all too grating. I'd say in terms of the choreography was really clean. I obviously I'm a huge fan of EXO choreography. I'd say, though, I'd have to agree with Nate that the MV, it has a nice visual aesthetic, but there's nothing really memorable about it. Whereas like with Tempo, like I could identify it immediately in terms of just like, I like their outfits or the color palette that they use, the contrast. This, I mean, the only thing I'd really recognize or remember about it is it's just really red, and you know, Kai's wearing a crop top, which looks incredible. Like, that's the only thing that that's really worth noting about this music video. But I still enjoy the choreography, though.
So I definitely agree about it having to like grow on you. Like, I think I had to listen to it like
I had to listen for like a week, basically.
two or three times before I really got it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I think it's good. Whereas, so Tempo, I remember Tempo, I had to do the same thing. Like, even up to the album review, I wasn't totally sold on Tempo, but now like, it's just a great song at this point for me. So it's like, sometimes it takes some growing on.
Even if it takes growing.
You don't always like understand a song on the first listen, so
that's why it makes sense. Yeah, especially with EXO, because EXO just started that trend of SMs really pushing, or I mean FX a bit, but EXO really sort of took the idea of SM putting like experimental music out there sort of to the mainstream. But it definitely. I mean, I still think to this day they really haven't had a bad like title track or single, in all honesty. So I'm happy.
All right.
Don't let Discord tell you that. Wolf.
Maybe. I mean, I've come around to it. I've come around to it.
Anyways,
to some degree.
Up next we have Trouble. So I didn't like the way the vocals sounded on this song at first, but like the pre-chorus I think is vocally very well done. But despite that, I normally like a nice and like full mix on this song, but I think the beats on this one kind of make me feel claustrophobic when listening to this song. Like it just feels like I'm confined to like a very tight space that's full of like stuff everywhere rather than
that's the opposite of feeling I got.
Really?
I mean, I could understand because are you talking like specifically about the chorus? Where it's just like,
if you're talking about the chorus,
the instrumentals just sort of kick in and that sort of thing. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Like overall, I just feel like I don't have enough room to breathe on this. I think the regular like marching beat that they use throughout the song is nice, but like I said, like the mix is a little too crowded, I think, on this in a lot of parts. Also, I wish the song was a little bit more melodic in the choruses and on the choruses in the verses. It's not a bad track. I think it was just ended up being a mixed bag for me, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm also not a huge fan of this one. I do like the intro. So the intro is where I got the opposite feeling. There's like a lot of echoing and effects that give it like a big open feeling. I think the pre-chorus, like you said, is awesome with the synths and the strings.
Yeah.
Like, that part's definitely my favorite part of the song. I think the drop chorus, like you said, though, is just kind of messy. It's weird. It's a
little too muddy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad, but it's just like they tried to do a lot of things where it's like off tempo or like off beat and like in like weird. It's just got like a weird tempo to it that it just feels just weird. Like so it's hard to explain without listening to it, but I think the chorus is kind of a miss. But I think the rest of the song is better. It's still not one of my favorites though.
It took a while for me to come around to this though, but I eventually did, mostly just because I actually like the chorus though, because I mean I don't mind. I listen to some like really like sort of like muddy deep fried shit when it comes to like hip hop or whatever, so that's definitely sort of the sound they're going for here. It's also, I could sort of see the similarities between a song like this and like Love Shot. Both have like very sort of like slow driving, reggae inspired beats with a bit of EDM involved. So yeah, I think that's probably where I sort of found the like similarity and identity, or just where I found my enjoyment of it. I definitely enjoyed this song better than like the next one, and like in terms of, but I could see sort of them having very similar issues in terms of just being kind of all over the place and messy.
Yeah, this next track what frustrated me. So
Jekyll's
it's
garbage.
called Jekyll. So it started off like really good, I thought. Like it was great until the chorus happened. Like the beat on the song I think is super fun. Like you can't help but like bop along to it. Like it also, like the mix, it felt way better than the last track. Like sounds very huge and big, but also spacious, gives you room to breathe. Like I was jamming until the chorus hit. Like legitimately, the obnoxious like yelling choruses really do nothing for me, and it's like turns me off. Also the cheesy like hip hop trope of like the gunshots in the background. It's like
I'm a sucker for those now. It's just funny now.
Yeah, I think this track had a lot of potential, but ended up just being a little too obnoxious for me, I think.
Yeah. I love the chiptune style instrumentals. I think it has a great like mysterious sci-fi feeling to it. And I think their vocals mix well, but then it drops into like the NCT style shouting part, and I think it ruined the song. Like the rest of the song was very like chill and mysterious, and then it just gets really intense for no reason, and like I guess it fits the name of the song.
Yeah, that's what I was going
for. It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, it's night and day basically.
Just because it's doing like they're trying to do this concept doesn't make it a good song or a good choice. and I think it really ruined this song because the rest of the song is really good. But yeah, this was another miss for me. This album did not start out well for me. But I do enjoy the rest of it after this.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably like the worst song on the entire album for me, just because again, like I get what they're going for, but I mean, I feel like you can go if you're trying to do the whole Jekyll and Hyde concept. I feel like there's something more interesting than just doing like triplet, like
yeah, they're just yelling, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it with other groups.
Let NCT do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it with other groups, but I feel like it's such a waste when you consider the sheer amount of vocal talent that EXO has. So, like, They do try to balance it out a bit with like sort of like the softer parts and the bladder end of the chorus, but why not just make that the whole chorus then? It just seems like you can get that sort of like two-faced like night and day vibe without having to resort to just obnoxious like chanting and for someone that has a high tolerance for that kind of stuff at this point, I found it grating. So that says something.
Sure. Up next, we're into the good part of the album.
Yes.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, up next is Groove. I put in all caps, much better. The light-sounding beats, like, they create, like, a nice sound that isn't too bloated, doesn't rely on annoying hip-hop tones. Hip-hop tropes, I mean. The strings that come in with the vocals are really nice. The chorus is really fun, danceable, and definitely, as the title suggests, makes you groove along to it. Baekhyun's ad-libs throughout the song I thought were really nice.
Oh my God. Yeah, this might be some of his best vocals in all honesty. Yeah, towards the end when he really starts going in.
Yeah. Some people might not like it, but I actually really like the robotic like vocal layering on Chanyeol's part. And yeah, the bridge with Chen's vocals and with the big, like, super full strings, again, was really awesome. I really love this track.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome at the beginning with, like, you could just get another, like, chill song with the minimalistic instrumentals. I love the beat that's just made up of, like, snare hits and, like, snaps. And then it just builds this awesome, like, funk track. And yeah, like you said, the vocals are really, really good. I think, once again, this is another song that, just like the last track, fits its name well, but
for a good
in
reason.
This case it's a good
actually
thing.
Works. Yeah.
It literally says it's what the package says. Basically, it's literally groove. Like everything about the song is sexy. Like the chorus is super sexy. Like I guess like the like where that house beat really kicks in. The vocals are super sexy. There's like a sexy like flute instrumental towards the end. I'm just a sucker for anything that adds flute. Just much better, in terms of it's what I expect in terms of quality from EXO. And again, I obviously love when they like, sort of the drawback of doing songs like Tempo or like Obsession is, again, they don't really get to showcase more of the vocal stuff, which is why I always like when they include tracks like this, so you could hear more of the nice vocal elements. And I guess going off of what you said, Jacob, like in terms of processing, usually I don't like it if you're sort of bastardizing EXO vocals, but I feel like it fits with the processing sort of fits with like the house vibe that the song has. So it didn't seem unnecessarily unnecessarily like there or gratuitous or whatever. It felt like it really helped us further the vibe the song had.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we have Ya Ya Ya, which is a cover of the Tiara song in MV.
No, not the MV, please.
I thought the sample they used in this was really awesome. Like the effects they used on it gave it a really nice texture, I thought. Kai's part in the beginning is like ever so slightly grating, but other than that, I think the song is like really, really catchy. The choir vocals that come in like during the chorus I thought were a really nice touch as well. It's a really fun song that like at first I wasn't totally sold on it, but on my like second listen of the album it really clicked with me. This is a really awesome track, I think.
It's nice, like it starts off with that like vocal sample. It's kind of reminiscent of like classic Motown, like classic like R&B style stuff. But But yeah, I thought this was another song I really enjoyed. It's got another like great grooving style, and I think the hook is really catchy. It's easy to sing along with, and the rest of the vocals and instrumentals flow really well together. Also, I want to point out it really stood out to me was the instrumentals during the rap part. It gave it like an underwater feel, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so the song that they specifically sample for this is "You're the One" by SWV. They're like a 90s, R&B, female R&B type of group. So, both Ya 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 and Obsession, the title track, worked on the same team of Ryan Jun and like a bunch of other people, and Dem Joints did the sort of arrangement. So I was like, oh, it makes sense that why I like both songs, because they're some of the best people, or especially Ryan Jun. He makes awesome tracks, especially with EXO. I was not expecting EXO to do this like old school like 90s like boom bap like R&B type of track. Like this came out of left field for me, but they do it so well. Just because it's this. I mean, there are other groups and other like artists in K-pop that have done songs like this. It's not. They definitely added their own twist to it, because it's not really like a strictly 90s R&B song. They have like a lot of the verses reminding me of like 2000s R&B, like stuff like that we were hearing like early 2000s that I grew up with, especially in terms of like the way that they're singing, like and you find it kind of grating with like how Kai's singing like the da 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 da. That's very 2000s, just like the vocal delivery. So it uses a 90s sample, kind of sounds like 2000s hip-hop music, but still manages to sound very K-pop at the same time. Like it's the thing that K-pop does, where they manage to like mash all these different like eras and genres together, and somehow it doesn't turn out a flaming hot mess. I mean, it's magic, basically. This is easily my favorite track on the entire. I think I might like this better than Obsession, in all honesty. I really love this track. I'd love to see more of this from them.
Yeah. Speaking of favorite tracks on the album, this next one, Baby You Are, is probably my favorite on the album. I really, really like this one. First off the back, yes, guitar, please keep using it. The quick strums of the guitar like are really, really nice, and the vocal samples over top of it are like incredibly smooth. Like Shen and Baekhyun are like among K-pop's best vocalists, and that's really,
and they just so happen to be in the same group, which is insane.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and honestly, that's like a huge strength that SM has, is that they have really
Incredible
great vocalists, and that they're willing to put out like experimental tracks and styles on their albums, and they put out cohesive albums as well. Like, yeah. So yeah, the funky like strums of the guitars are super fun and catchy, and when the chorus kicks in, like the mix really fills out like so nicely. Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite song on the album. It's between this one and the next one.
Yep. Yeah, this is my favorite song on the album easily. It's awesome. It's like a weird hybrid of like 80s pop, synth pop, and then you get like early 2000s, late 90s acoustic pop mixed together, because the verses sound like something like NSYNC would put out, like acoustic pop from that era, but then the chorus happens and it just goes back a decade or two, and it just becomes like very 80s synthy awesomeness. It was really cool sounding, and it's definitely my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be the odd one out here, because I love the acoustic guitar part, but I felt it was a bit too jarring, just having that sort of complete change. I don't know, just having that sort of like synth drop kind of killed the momentum the song had going for me. I would have loved, like, maybe because when I heard the acoustic guitar, I was expecting, oh shit, they're gonna go like full Ed Sheeran on it, like just have like a really interesting type of thing. So yeah, I guess it's just because it didn't go where I was expecting it to, and it didn't really, and where it did end up going just sort of didn't end up being any better. So yeah, I wanted to like this song a lot more. Maybe that's why I ended up not liking it as much.
Yeah. Up next we have Nonstop, which is probably my second favorite. Yeah, as soon as this song started, I was like impressed by the instrumentation, and then like it starts off with like more of like a gentle piano, and then it just like goes in. The shouts that they start off with like aren't like annoying like they were in Trouble, which is good in my opinion at least. The guitar work on this is like really, really funky. So is the bass. I I really like the trumpets that like come in as well. And Chanyeol and Sehun's rap section is probably the best on the whole album, I think, in this song. Yeah, close second to Baby You Are. A really, really good track.
Yep. Yeah, it's another awesome like retro style song. It gives me some shiny vibes with like the funk guitar and the harmonies they use.
Yep.
And then they had like the brass part, which was awesome. Vocalists are amazing on the song, as well as the rappers. And I thought there was a nice little like instrumental bridge too, that had like some really cool little like solos.
Yeah, so this was worked on by our friends over in Europe, Daniel Obi Klein, Charlie Taft, and Andreas Oberg. I could tell like immediately once I heard that guitar riff, it's like, oh, that's Andreas. Yeah, and I mean, it's cool how they sort of went for like the 90s feel, but they're really going for like the 70s Motown disco feel with nonstop. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, that's what I was thinking as well. It's very like 70s pop, I guess. It like the the shouts remind me of like YMCA or something like that.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, just because so much disco has that we got the funk, like that sort of like stuff, like basically just anything from back in the day. So it just they really nailed it to a T when it comes, and yeah, that's definitely their specialty. Just like throwback, like anything inspired by disco, anything inspired by like that R&B. So it's no surprise that they worked on this. But I mean, as good as the vocals are, I'm just a sucker for anything that kicks in with like trumpet sections, because it kind of I don't know, like the trumpet section here kind of reminds me of like September, like by like Earth, Wind and Fire or something. Like it definitely calls back on like those classic disco songs or those like Motown songs that just sort of made the genre what it was. So this was easily my second favorite. Like it's just like this and Ya 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 are basically like 1A and 1B basically. Just if you had to put a gun to my head and say like which one I like better, it'd probably be Ya Ya Ya. But I mean, this song was just another. This is another song that could easily be like single quality in terms of how good it is.
Oh, I would have loved this if this was the single.
Give us a music video.
Awesome.
Oh my god!
And make it like disco themed. The music video also.
Somebody needs to have like an afro or something.
Yeah, they need to make it look like a Bee Gees music video or something like that.
No, so basically, you could just do this music, or just do the music video for All Night by Girls' Generation just with EXO. Literally, you could just like swap. Yeah, literally, it worked just as well.
Yeah.
Just have Kai doing the sexy dance that's like Soo Young does on stage. I'd pay money to see that. I'm sorry.
All right. Up next we have Day After Day. More guitar. Yes. Keep it coming. I live for this. Another vocal highlight on this menu. Menu. I don't know why I said menu.
Were you thinking of like Wendy's or something?
I don't know. I guess it's a menu of songs, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Anyways. Another vocal highlight on this album. I think the vocal harmonies on this are really the standout for me. They're really, really nice. Not a ton for me to comment on specifically because it's kind of just like ballady, slow, like R&B sort of song, but that's not a bad thing because it's really, really well done, and definitely shows off their vocal chops well.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nice acoustic pop song, ballady pop song. I think that the rap was a little more intense than it felt fit the rest of the song. But I think the vocals made up for it, and the layered vocals at the end were awesome. So yeah, overall I enjoyed it a lot.
I mean, I enjoy the song. It just I felt it became redundant after listening to the one that came after it. Just that I feel like they cover similar enough territories so that I ended up was like, oh, this one kind of feels like like second fiddle. I mean, the vocals on this are incredible, but yeah, I felt it did become less necessary after hearing Butterfly Effect. So
yeah. All right. Up next we have Butterfly Effect, which Andrew just mentioned. Yeah, keeping the like funky vibe of the latter half of the album. I think this song is a really catchy and like great song to end the album in. The vocals on this once again are really nice, and I wish EXO would have just stuck with the style they had for the latter half of the album rather than the like kind of hip hop focused stuff from the first half. I think it would have been much more cohesive, I guess, if they would have replaced Trouble and Jekyll with a couple more of like these sort of styled songs. And I think it would have made the album much more cohesive, and it probably would have ended up being one of my favorite albums of the year. But yeah, strong finish.
Yep. Yeah, I thought this is another great like funky style jam. I really loved the vocal harmonies with the falsetto. Like it's layered with like falsetto and not falsetto throughout the song.
Yeah.
And yeah, the instrumentals have like a nice like sci-fi feel to them. Yeah, I agree. It was a really good way to end the album.
This might be Chen's best vocal performance, at least for me. Just like, 'cause he has a verse here that just really kills it on. Yeah, I maybe it's a bit more because it's a bit more upbeat than Day After Day, but again, I feel this sort of covers a similar territory of being a vocal showcase better than Day After Day did. Produced by London Noise, so obviously the frequent collaborators with EXO. And again, I always mention this every time we talk about London Noise produced tracks, but they do a good job of sort of balancing. You know, they tend to they do EDM songs very often, but they also are sort of chameleons in that the way they're able to adapt to like a London Noise song for EXO isn't the same as a London Noise song for Red Velvet or anyone else.
Yeah.
They do a good job of sort of like in this specific instance, they do a good job of sort of bringing that sort of like EDM, like sort of funk groove with the instrumentals while sort of combining it with kind of like the like what we got in like Nonstop basically. So yeah, just a good sort of mix of what EXO has been doing and sort of what they've been doing. So yeah, this was a great way to like. This is an excellent track to in terms of placement and just both of like just great ending.
For sure. All right, I guess we can go into ratings. So for me, for music, I ended up giving it a 5.5 out of 7, just because I feel like the first half of the album, not the first half, like the first third or so.
2 or 3 songs, yeah.
I really like Obsession. It just took a little bit to click with me. And then Trouble and Jekyll have their problems, I guess, is what mainly like brings it down. But after that, we really get into the races, like where like we have highlight sections like Groove, Yeah. You know, Baby You Are Nonstop. Really, really good like middle portion of the album. Yeah, so overall, like, there's some, like, fantastic, like, really good, like, pristine songs, but I feel like just because of the weak parts on the album...
Not pristine.
I feel like just because of the weak parts of the album, it keeps it from being able to surpass their previous album, which was, like, I think, honestly, their best album today, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't Mess Up My Tempo. Either that or XOXO, because I really love that album as well. But yeah, this one's good. I think it's just kind of, I guess, either middle of the road or weaker side of EXO's discography. So yeah, 5.5 out of 7 for music. For the concept, I gave it a 2.5 out of 3 actually, because I thought the music, like, while it's not something that like reinvents the wheel or anything, I think it's still a very, very clearly like well-produced music video with really nice camera work, really nice color work, really nice like effects and stuff, like the scenes with the lasers, with the floating in the air, with the I think that I remember like a section where they're like lighting shit on fire. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of like the Monster music video. I think it's comparable to that, which was very good. So, it actually, if I had to name another music video it reminded me of, it's for the NCTU. What the frick was it called again? 7 Cents.
Yeah, it's pretty much like or almost a carbon copy of 7 Cents.
Yeah. So I really love that music video. I really like this music video. Yeah, like you guys said, the choreography isn't like anything crazy, so I didn't give it a 3. But yeah, 2.5 out of 3 for concept. So overall, I gave it a 8 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I think I have the same issues as you with the music, except I also wasn't a huge fan of the single. but I actually gave it a higher score than you. But I gave it a 6 out of 7 for music because I really loved everything but the first 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was more harsh on the concept. So, but yeah, I didn't want to drop it too much for those first 3 songs, but because of how much I love the other ones. But then yeah, concept, I just gave them a 1.5. It just like nothing stood out to me really. It was like, it's okay. I think I just have higher expectations for a group as big as EXO.
EXO, yeah.
So it didn't really meet them. So I gave it a 7.5 total.
Okay.
So for me, I split it up with single and an album. So for single, I gave it 3 points out of a possible 3.5 because it was kind of teetering on the 2.5 to 3.5 area, but I did come around to it a lot towards the end. Again, it is kind of jarring at first, but once you sort of acclimatize yourself to the sound, it's really incredible. Album, I only gave 3 points out of 3.5 as well. It would have gotten a much higher score. Like really, that like everything from like groove onward is what's ended up saving it. Because like Trouble, I did like Jackal was really brought it down. I mean, like I feel you could probably reduce this album by maybe like 2 or 3 tracks, and I feel it would be like having a tighter album, more concise, or it would it would have been an album of the year contender, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like if they either replaced those 2 tracks or just removed them and made it like a mini album, honestly, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
actually, I don't know. You could argue it's a full album.
I would say it wouldn't even be. You could argue it wouldn't even be a full album.
even 7 tracks is a full album. But I mean,
that's the gray area.
Yeah, it's a gray area, but yeah,
isn't BTS like that?
Yeah, they do like full.
But that's
albums.
a mini
Like,
album.
Yeah, it's a mini.
I
don't know.
Is Persona a mini album?
Yeah, Uju Sonyo was 7 songs, and they considered that a mini album.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I felt if they made it a lot more concise, I probably would have enjoyed it more because it did feel a bit bloated in some areas. Concepts, I'm still giving 2.5 out of 3.4 just because again I love the choreography. Outfits look really good too. It's just sort of they didn't do anything all too interesting for in terms of music video, or at least to my expectation of what I expect from EXO music videos. So yeah, it only gets it gets the half point off. So for me, that's an 8.5 out of 10. I gave the highest score, no surprise. So
average is to an 8.
Yeah, so it averages to an 8. So a pretty good spot. It's not necessarily. I wouldn't call it the best, like boy group album of the year, necessarily. Yeah. I mean, it is solid in terms of like what is there. Yeah, it's just again, much like with BTS, we have just sort of super high expectations of a group of this caliber. So it's always it's hard to meet those, especially if especially if you consider the fact that this might be the last sort of major EXO album we get, because I'm sure like more like we're already missing Jimin and Dio, and Lay's sort of doing his thing in China. So once more of them start entering the military, it's going to be hard to justify having entire EXO albums if like half the group's missing. So
yeah. Plus they do well solo, and they have Wavy and other things.
Super M.
Or Super M. That's what I meant.
In addition to having solos, yeah.
I was thinking about it. Have they ever released a mini album as a full group?
Yeah, they've released maybe like very rarely. Like most, if not, most of EXO's releases do tend to be full albums since
EXO-K.
Back when they were still separating it by EXO-K and EXO-M, everything was mini albums.
But as EXO as a whole, I don't think they have.
Yeah, pretty much ever since once they started like combining the group as one. Basically ever since like 2013, 2014 onward, most everything was just like as a group basically. So. I guess with that, just let us know what your thoughts are on EXO's Obsession. Do you like Obsession? Do you think it's weird? Do you like any of the tracks? I don't know. Do you like the album as much as I did? Because I'm considering even as a big EXO-L as myself, I was kind of it didn't necessarily meet my full expectations. So let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yep. All right. Topic 3. I'll hand the mic over to Andrew.
How do we go into this? Oh God. Oh man. Yeah. where have I been? Where have I been the past 3 months? I guess I'll start off with trying to answer that. I mean, sort of the forward-facing answer that we gave as to my absence from both Truly Daebak and DaebakCast and, you know, everything. And, you know, our original plan was I was supposed to be the host of Queendom Cast. You know, I was the one sort of the catalyst behind that, but yeah, it ended up that Nate and Sam and Jakari had to, you know, carry the torch for me while I was gone. So again, I thank you guys for sort of, you know, keeping that alive.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of fun, and even though I didn't get to finish the show, I guess to put it plainly, on September 17th, I tried to take my life. There's just been a lot of I don't know, just a lot of factors and stress and, you know, things just that were going on that I wanted out, basically. To sort of just put it simply, you know, I'm sorry that if I didn't, you know, if it seemed like we were lying or, you know, we were being intentionally vague as to why I was gone, but I just didn't want to sort of put it out there until I was, you know, ready or just comfortable to sort of talk about it. I mean, there's a lot, I guess sort of the main factors were just, there's just a lot of, you know, stress going on with my, my work situation. So a lot of you know that, you know, I work as a shoe designer. I design shoes for a bunch of different brands, such as like Rockaware. I did stuff for members only. Yeah, that's sort of been my, you know, dream job, quote unquote, ever since, you know, I, you know, applied, you know, back all the way in like 2011. And I've been working in the same office ever since, you know, 2015. You know, I started there as an intern, and, you know, I'd been working there so this year, so about like 4 or 5 years almost, pretty much. You know, in retrospect, it probably wasn't a good idea for me to stay there so long, just because the circumstances that sort of brought me to there just sort of, I don't know, there's just a lot that I probably, you know, should have let go of. I really don't like, you know, putting too much out there. But yeah, I got that job because, you know, my girlfriend at the time was interning there, so we ended up working there. We ended up breaking up, and I had to endure something like 4 months of just being in the same space as somebody that, you know, made me, you know, want to end my life. You know, she's I guess that's where the crux of it, where all of this comes, I guess, is just, you know, like having to deal with a really shitty breakup is what sort of took my, you know, depression and suicide, you know, struggle with that to a completely different level. And I guess I did managing it pretty well. And I mean, to some degree, I still manage it pretty well compared to, you know, other people, but I guess, you know, even I have my upper limits when it comes to, you know, what I can handle. You know, there's just a lot of, you know, being a shoe designer, it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's more like a 9 to 8 job, in all honesty. Like, you have to work a lot of long hours, especially for the company I was working for was very tiny. It was just me and another designer, and we were handling, you know, multiple designs and multiple things. Like, you had to wear many hats. It wasn't just me designing shoes. I was, you know, doing photography. I was doing, like, you know, the model for the shoes. I'm the one like doing like all the corrections. I'm the one talking to the factories in China. You know, I'm the one that has to do like all the marketing, or just like the sort of, you know, marketing material and everything. So it's just, the workload is incredibly, you know, just I can't do that on my own, unfortunately. So Nate, you had to ask.
Well, plus I was saying, plus you were there as an independent contractor, which means you're a lot more like you basically have to. You don't have the job security that a normal like full-time employee has.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a bit too adult for a lot of listeners, but I mean, like, if you ever get hired as an independent contractor and you're not allowed to work anywhere else, you're not an independent contractor. You're an employee. You're an employee without benefits.
Don't don't be hired as an independent contractor if you can avoid it at all costs. Basically, it's just raw into the stick, no matter way you look at.
Yeah, just in terms of taxes, I have to pay so much in taxes. I have to
manage your own health care.
Yeah, I did that.
All that stuff.
The
whole thing is just
I got kicked off my healthcare come September. Literally the day that I was sort of I contemplated suicide was the day I got kicked off my healthcare. Because you have a month after your birthday to find one, but I'd been searching for other jobs, and at that point I just sort of like gave up hope because no one was really talking to me at that point. But I lost contact with who I ended up being getting hired by. But I'll get later in that story. It wasn't just work related stress too. It's just, I guess it is work related stress because we only have like however many subscribers, but I mean, like the amount of effort I've put into truly Daebak is probably more than what some rational normal person should be putting into for a YouTube channel. This basically just sort of became a second job to me. I'd get home at around 8:00 some days, and I'd have to go straight into editing or doing research, especially with stuff like TDA, Truly Daebak Awards, or monthly releases. There's just a lot, or trying to, if there's a research topic that we have to do, there's a lot that there's a lot that goes into this, more than just three people just talking in front of a camera. I mean, as much as I want it to be like that, I don't know, I feel the need to sort of come to you guys informed, because I don't want to be ill prepared for anything. I mean, if you judge by Twitter, some people are like, oh, you guys don't know anything. But I mean, there's a lot that goes into the preparation and like sort of the management of this, and it's just, my workload wasn't sustainable. I was, I'm the one editing, I'm the one sort of doing all this stuff. I have to, I'm thinking of like 5 billion different show ideas all at the same time, and it's very hard to do that. It's hard to do that with a regular full-time job. It's nigh impossible to do that with the field, the field that I'm in. So it's just, I don't know, it's just all of these emotions just sort of, just hit me all at once, where I was just stuck in this shitty job where, they weren't, I mean, there was nothing too crazy. It's just like one time, like I did like a really bad argument or something happened with a supervisor of mine, and it just made me feel, it made me feel worthless as a human being, and I never want to feel like that ever again.
On top of a shitty work situation, you had a shitty boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to air dirty laundry out there. It's just, that's just sort of it's the work environment there was not sustainable, or at least wasn't sustainable for my mental health, because there'd just be arguments constantly. And sort of it's, you have a lot, I'm expected a lot, but my input sort of didn't matter, or it's just taken for granted to some degree. And just on top of that, it's just really hard to run this thing and not really see direct results with like YouTube. It's like, it's very hard to run a YouTube channel. It's a lot of a time investment for very little, at least immediate results. We've been doing this for close to 4 years now, and I'm happy with the community that we're sort of building, but I feel it just, sometimes it feels like, oh, why aren't we growing? Why aren't we reaching what I feel we could reach, or what I want to reach? It's just like I told you guys in the chat, like we're playing this on hard mode from the beginning by not doing clickbait or reactions, or we're not trying to
is privileged.
We're not trying to we're not trying to kiss everyone's ass when it comes to fandoms or reviews. It's just it's there's just something about the type of person that, or like, I guess sort of the age of K-pop fans, that they're not going to be attracted to that sort of thing, everyone. I mean, just in general with the internet, everyone is guilty of confirmation bias. Like the only people that'll listen to when we have a positive review, everyone's like, "Oh my God, why aren't you more popular?" and everything. Like, "Oh, more people should be listening to you," because we're affirming their opinions about such and such group. But when we're when we're completely destroying something, it's like, "Oh, you guys don't know anything. You're just two white guys and some like non-Korean dude. What do you guys know about K-pop or whatever?" So it's just that's why I say we're playing on hard mode, because we're purposefully sort of like cutting off like part of our reach in that sort of way. But I mean, I still want to make it work, because at least personally for me, like I wouldn't be able to live myself if I just became a shill for K-pop. I mean, it must be nice to get like brand deals and everything all the time, but it's having no personal integrity when it comes to like what you believe or what you're putting out there would just it destroy me just as much as anything else that's sort of been stressing me out these days. Yeah,
that's the thing that I'm like most proud of, or at least my objective with like doing this kind of thing is like we've kind of created a not a platform, but like some sort of way to express ourselves or put our opinions out there, kind of have, I don't know, at least somewhat intelligent discussion on something that isn't usually discussed in super detail.
Yeah,
and I think
most K-pop is just really it's like either you love it or it's trash, or like there's I think from the start, from the start, I think we wanted to have something that was more than surface level, at least in terms of our appreciation for K-pop, or our like what we cover with K-pop or anything with music. Really, it's just it's not easy. It's not easy. Not everyone wants this type of thing,
and that's why I'm so I'm so like proud of the, like, it's small but like I guess close-knit like community that we've built from it, because by not just doing what the masses want to hear, we ended up meeting so many people who are like us, if that makes sense. So that's the biggest like thing that I guess appreciate from doing all of this, I guess, is just the connections.
It's like like you were saying, Andrew, like we're making the content we want to make, not the content that'll get us the most views.
Yes.
And we also we're doing it in a format that is not conducive to the type of people that we are making content for. Because most K-pop fans don't listen to long form podcasts. And then we're also, like you were saying, we're not just doing what will get us the most views, but because of that, we've been able to find this awesome group of people, like Jacob was saying, that like, sure, we're growing very slowly, and it's slowed down this year for sure. But I think like we got to be proud of what we have accomplished. Because we've stuck to what we wanted to do, and we haven't like compromised our integrity.
I think basically we're reaching the types of people we want to reach. Maybe not all of them yet, but like, I think it's a good thing.
It's hard to find those people. There's not very many of them.
Like, I think it was like a random like drop in the bucket moment that we even met each other, because like before I started talking to you guys, I didn't know anyone who like listened to K-pop or liked K-pop. I literally had no one to talk to about it. So it's I mean, other than the people I had met in Korea, and they didn't really like. It was varying degrees of how much they liked K-pop. All the people I knew were less into it than me in Korea.
Well, yeah.
So it's a thing.
Yeah, just sometimes I forget that.
It's not easy to remember.
I forget that, and
sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely is something that goes across, both my, YouTube career, quote unquote, and my, my work career and sort of thing, is where, it definitely comes with the territory with, dealing with depression, where I feel like, like none of the stuff that I do really makes an impact or makes a difference or even matters. And, that's really, I guess that's really all I want out of this. I don't want to be famous. If I was ever famous, I might end up killing myself because I wouldn't be able to, deal with,
scrutiny. The stuff that comes along with that.
I mean, like the scrutiny. I guess
scrutiny. There's pressure. There's a lot of things.
Just the sheer, just like having being under that microscope. I wouldn't be able to, even to this degree. I get caught up in, people that are like, oh, nothing about K-pop or whatever, or in work where it's like people are saying that you're not doing what you're supposed to be, or the level of work you're supposed to be doing. I don't know. It's just really hard. I'm definitely one person that has imposter syndrome, where I just feel like I'm not doing good enough, and it's hard not to compare yourself to other people in anything with life. Like,
definitely.
Is I'm just deleting so many fucking people off of social media because it's all fake. All of it's just fake bullshit where people are just I'm on my vacation. It's like, like everyone's just doing all this stuff, but like.
They don't post when they're depressed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
post when they have a shitty day at work.
I'm not gonna go post on IG. Had a shitty day at work, wanted to kill myself. Like my
exactly.
my thing. Like,
yeah, you're posting when you're in Japan and you're having a great time, and you're going out to dinner with friends, and like people only post the best parts of themselves, so you can't ever compare yourself to those people.
It's just an incredibly dangerous sort of mentality that I'm learning. I all of this is a learning experience. Ultimately, I thought I was good, but I mean, sometimes that's really depression in a nutshell. Is 90% of it is convincing yourself, or like 50% of it is convincing yourself you're okay when you're not okay, and the other 50% of it is convincing yourself you're not okay when you're really okay. Because it's really like. You're really just like at war with yourself, and like for years I was just convincing myself I can handle this. I can handle both doing a YouTube channel and doing a really intense work job, because I thought I love this. I love what I'm doing when I comes to designing shoes. I love what I'm doing when it comes to doing stuff for YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time, and I'm glad I have this opportunity. It's just. It was killing me. It really was killing me.
The thing you have to hold on to is the fact that, so the things on social media, it's all fake bullshit, right? I like to remind myself of is through doing this, we are connecting with real people.
Yeah.
These are like not just randos who leave a comment and then never talk again. Like, we're literally like meeting people, affecting people, and I don't know. That's just what I feel like. That's something that actually does matter, I guess. If that makes sense.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, next time you think what you do doesn't matter, just look at Discord. Like, we have a good 30-40 people that are there every day talking to each other, like becoming friends, doing fun stuff like song ratings and fantasy leagues and Discord or discography listens, and just chatting about literally everything. And those people are there every day because it's a fun, awesome community to be part of, and that wouldn't exist without the work you did, or the work Jacob did, or the work I did. If you don't think the stuff you did mattered, like, those people do think the stuff you did mattered.
Yeah. It's just hard. It's just hard to sort
of.
It's
really
hard.
hard.
And I guess I just didn't. I have a really bad habit of just sort of like letting things bottle up, or letting things bottle up until it really just. I guess it's just sort of the crux of it was I had that girl where I'd sort of your girlfriend confide in them and everything, and it's sort of, to a lot of people, having depression isn't cool or manly, or saying that you think that you're not good enough or that you want to kill yourself isn't manly enough for them or just good enough for them. So
That's
them
just bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So.
I know,
Well,
but like I realize that now. But like yeah, just like having.
I know
having,
you realize it. I'm just saying like.
Yeah.
For other people listening.
Like having the one person that I wanted to confide everything into say that it's just you're just not like inspiring enough of a human being is sort of made me put up a wall and not want to share. I didn't want to seem vulnerable, especially on camera. I don't want to, especially with like I there's a lot of younger people in our community, and I don't want to.
It's a bad example.
Not that I don't want to set a bad example. It's just it's like having I'm the youngest in my family, but I mean there's still like it's like having younger siblings. You don't want them to see you fail, or you don't want them to see you fall, because it's like when you're a kid, you see your dad or your mom, they're invincible and like they can do no wrong, and once that sort of illusion is shattered, you just don't want people to have change opinions on you because of stuff like this. And it's
but I think talking about this stuff is good because it sets a good example for those people that they shouldn't bottle it up either.
Yeah, and especially
like it's okay to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, and
I know for me at least, talking like has been really helping because this semester's been really, really stressful for me. Like I also I usually don't like talking about this sort of stuff with people because I feel like it's like, I don't know, it can seem like I'm just I need attention or something like that, or I'm just complaining, or where that's not the case. I'm trying to just like ignore that entire idea and just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just been helping having someone else's like a voice of reason that's not hopped up on emotion at the moment, because like at least for me, when I make decisions, I try to keep emotion out of it for the most part, just because I feel like it, and in my experience, it usually creates problems when I do that. So, when it's too difficult to do that, and I could tell that, I need someone to tell me like, hey, stop being stupid, stop thinking stupid things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess it's just you gotta, I guess, somehow convince yourself that the way you're thinking is not rational and not logical.
I mean, it's, I guess, to sort of just go into like my changes. I mean, I sort of made myself a promise that I wouldn't come back to Discord unless I found a position elsewhere, and that's why I'm back. I was Friday was my last day at my previous job, and in a week or two I start my new life at Kenneth Cole. It's like it seems like a good job, and they'll take care of me. But not just that, it's just when they offered me the job, they said that I was the one that they were rooting for the whole time, when I had when I felt like in my previous job, like the whole time I felt like I was worthless and like none of the work I did mattered, and like I wasn't seeing any results, or that I felt I was just stressed out of my mind that they were gonna fire me because I wasn't good enough. It felt so validating that somebody
like,
was
what
willing
that means is what that means is like, well, I guess what I'm getting at, but I'll let you talk again. Like I guess what that means to me at least is that what you were doing did matter like the entire time, right?
Oh yeah, your like, company took you for granted.
Someone at another company like looked at that and like, wow, this is really great work. Like, it's
and just I think just this whole time
remember that just, like always.
Yeah, it's just this whole time you just second guess. Well, yeah, it's a lot of it's just second guessing and just forgetting. Yeah. So I don't know. It just sometimes even with like my personal life, I just I only really like there are people that seem like social butterflies that like do shit all the time, where I'm just like I want to go home and play video games or just sleep, and I feel I sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough I'm not doing good enough at life because I only really I only really have like one or two close friends that I see in person all the time, and I guess it's just at this point I've just sort of been seeing the value, or just sort of recognize the value of just having good people in your life, not just a lot of people, because there's just a lot of people I really don't care about in my life anymore. As bad as that sounds, but vice versa. Vice versa, they don't care about me either. So why am
exactly. If they don't,
exactly.
Yeah, it's just I'm. The people that are in my life are the reason why I'm still here today talking about it. 3 months later. If I didn't have you guys, if I didn't have Sam or Baron or everyone else in the mod team or Cooper and it took me before my Japan trip is when I first contacted Egg and Stu, also known as Vinny and Jack, two people I probably consider some of my closest friends. And when I told them this, they when I talked to Jack, he said he thought he'd never hear from me again. And it just sort of hit like, why am I feeling like nobody cares when people are when me just showing up or me doing this, helps someone else, with their day or helps them feel better. Why am I feeling so worthless? So, I have all those people to thank for why I'm still alive right now.
Yep. You have to always remember the people that, I don't know, care about you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because even if people think there aren't any, there always is. There's always somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Even if it doesn't seem like there are.
And I'm not trying to make this a sob story, or I'm not trying to get sympathy or whatever from, crying here on episode 142. It's just really...
It's not the first time we've cried on camera before, so...
And...
I guess that's, if anything, shows we don't really care what people think at this point.
Yeah, no, it's just...
And that we're not BSing it for likes or
we lost
views.
We lost Jonghyun 2 years ago. We lost Sully. We lost Guhara. We lost a lot of people this year. Etika. We lost so many people to suicide and, just depression and, all this sort of stuff. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe if I have no shame anymore about admitting that I deal with this stuff. I have no shame, period. I literally can't have the concept of shame just went out the window once I started reading BTS smut fan fiction. Nothing else can be more embarrassing than reading that. So
one of the worst.
I forgot we did that.
So me talking about my depression and the fact that I almost committed suicide is, I feel no shame in discussing that, and maybe just talking about this helps someone out. I don't, I know our reach is only a handful of people, but if there's even one person I can help by just saying look, I'm here, I'm trying to improve. There's going to be times that in the future where I might, contemplate killing myself again, but, I hope I never work up the courage for that to ever come to pass. I mean, I've been dealing with this since high school. I've been dealing with this for almost my entire adult life, and it's always going to be with me. It's I was talking in our Discord yesterday about sort of just how you deal with depression. It's not like a cold or I don't know, just like having muscle sores or something that goes away and then you just never deal with it again. It's like allergies. It comes back and you have to manage it.
You can't let it build up.
Yeah, I've sort of, it took me a while to realize. For the longest time I was like, I want to get over my depression. I don't want to ever feel depressed ever again. But that's impossible. There's just something about the way I am that I'm going to have to manage this for the rest of my life. And I feel...
Yeah.
Maybe for the first time in my life, I feel capable of managing that. Not on my own, because for one, once my insurance kicks in...
Shouldn't have to do it on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to... I didn't want to tell anyone for so long just because I felt like, putting that emotional burden onto other people would just, destroy them, or, it'd just be too much to handle. If I can't handle it on my own, what the I've just, I think I destroyed a friendship or relationship with just how I've been dealing with depression. So I was afraid of doing that again.
If that's not a real friendship or a real relationship.
Yeah. I've realized that. Yeah, if they can't sort of help you manage. I mean, like, I don't expect you guys to diagnose me with anything or whatever. None of us are doctors, but if a friend isn't willing to be there for you, you probably need to cut them out of your life. Because I mean, if it's something small like needing like help or needing help with something or
just
something
to talk
like this,
to someone like that's
Yeah,
it's like
there's no.
You should always be able to rely on your friends as long as you don't take them for granted.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't take anyone for granted. If anything, I probably do way too much for other people, and I get taken advantage of. That's my biggest character flaw. Is I probably give too much, and yeah.
And the other thing is, like, there's no shame in getting help or asking for help, and not just from friends. Like, get professional help if you like.
Yeah, that's the.
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like even like perfectly mentally healthy people should probably go to therapy every once in a while. Like,
that's
nobody has issues that they can't talk about or shouldn't talk about.
And I guess I could just sort of make this my New Year's resolution, or just sort of put it out there so I hold myself accountable to it. But yeah, come 2020, once my insurance kicks in, I plan on going to therapy, or at least that's the plan. Hopefully, I can afford it. But yeah, I think it's overdue. And I mean, I don't know if I need medication or not or whatever. That might be it might be a likelihood. But I mean, it's time I stop trying to. There's no shame.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's time I stop trying to manage this on my own, because I can there's only so much I can handle on my plate before I just push myself to the limit, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to put anyone else through. I don't want to put you guys through that. I don't want to put our audience through that. I don't want to put my friends through that. My friends, my friend Kim and my friend Javon have really been there for me since day one. They're trying to talk me out of it too, and there's just so many people that I'm blessed to have and sort of lucky to have that give me perspective on my life when I can't really be objective about it, or sort of look at it from the big picture. When I'm when I feel like I want to end my life, or that it's not going well, or that I'm not doing enough as a human being. You guys are always there to sort of give me that perspective, and I thank you for that. And I can say, I love you guys so much for everything that you guys have done, and I just my perspective on life has just really been shaken over the past few months, especially this past week. My best friend from childhood passed away. He was my age. He was 26. I really don't know exactly the details, but it really hit me hard that I'm sort of getting to that age where I see old friends and family at funerals and stuff like that, and losing someone that I lost contact with, it just really hurt me. And especially when I had so many good memories with him, and my childhood was pretty much, we were attached at the hip. I have just so many good memories of just playing like Need for Speed Underground, or like Yu-Gi-Oh, or all these stupid things that I sort of like look back on fondly. They were with Brian Basara, my best friend, and it just would sort of hit me the hardest is, why am I so down in the dumps and want to end my life when he won't have a chance to grow up. He won't have a chance to have a family or have kids or achieve his dreams. So I just really don't want to waste my life anymore. I want to grow old. I want to be happy. I want to have kids. I want to, find the love of my life. I want to have all these things because I'd be doing a disservice to him if I didn't live my life to the fullest at this point. I can't afford to waste what time I have here. So, it just really sort of put things into perspective with, just what really matters in life. Because a lot of the stuff that we care about really is it's all bullshit. So I get that's really, I guess that's growing older. Though you start to realize, what really matters in life, and it's you guys. It's how much you care about me. It's what you guys do for me every day. That's all that matters in my life. And everything else is unnecessary. So
yeah,
thank you, and I love you guys. Oh, before I close out this topic, I forgot to mention, my friend was a really big, my best friend Brian Bassara was a really big fan of, cars. He was, really big into automotive, and we'd play. I left my own copy of Gran Turismo 3 on PS2, at his bedside, when I saw him for the last time. His family is, or specifically his brother, is starting a GoFundMe to finish. He had a project car, like a Honda Civic, that he was working on before, until his death, and in his memory they'd like to finish it. So they started a GoFundMe. I'll put the link in the description for the GoFundMe. But I mean, they need to raise about $5,000. Right now they're only at about $500. So there's a long way to go. So if there's anything you can do to help, it doesn't need to be that big of a contribution. Even like $5 would help out. Just something that would honor him and give his family peace of mind. And I definitely appreciate it as well. As someone that I really cared about in life, to sort of leave a lasting memory of him. So I'll leave the link to the GoFundMe in his description, and in this description, and thank you for your generosity if you do end up donating.
Right.
Topic 4.
Topic 4.
End out the year. So with that conversation, that kind of leads into this topic, which will be basically truly Daebak's future, what we're planning on changing for 2020, our 4th year.
New decade too.
Yes, a new decade, exactly.
that joke. That joke where if you go inside a room by yourself and then you come out, it's like, yo, I haven't seen you guys since last year. If you do that, you can be like, yo, I haven't seen you since last decade.
Since the
decade. It was way better in 2000.
It's kind of.
I haven't seen you since last.
Seen you in the last millennium.
It's weird because obviously, like, I don't remember 2000. I do remember 2010, but it didn't feel like a big deal. This actually is the first time it feels like a big deal to me.
2000 was huge. Well, that mostly because I thought the computers were gonna explode.
Yeah, all the computers. Like there's still Best Buy stickers that like, don't forget to reset your computer so that Y2K doesn't happen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So basically, we're gonna be making changes, fairly significant changes, to how Truly Daebak works, due to needing to manage workload better. Andrew changing what he wants to work on, because with Andrew having previous work load insanity issues, going to a new job, that's always a bit of a tough start, and then Jacob having his senior year where he's kind of overwhelmed, and then I'm getting promoted to a
congrats.
lead position, so I'm gonna be more stressed out about work too, probably.
Yeah, because you got to make sure you got to make sure those cars drive themselves.
Yeah, so that I don't have to deal with the stupid traffic I had to deal with this week. It was so bad this week.
Was it because of the snow, or is it just like bad?
No, we don't have any snow. It was just really bad this week for some reason.
Okay.
You don't have a snow? I'm jealous. We have shitloads of
snow.
Because
we have no snow.
It's
going to rain on
3
Monday.
Inches. Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 inches of snow, and it's stuck.
No, we didn't get any snow. We got snow like a month ago when everyone got snow. That stuck around for like a couple days or whatever. But we have nothing that's stuck since. And yeah, it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be like 45 degrees and raining on Monday. But I'm happy for that because I have to drive back from Chicago.
Okay. So no one's going to be on the road.
But yeah. So let's get into basically big changes. This will probably be a pretty short topic. But big change that from what you're used to is DaebakCast is going to be bi-weekly, semi-weekly,
Bi-weekly.
whichever one is every 2
Bi-weekly,
weeks.
I think. Yeah,
Oh,
bi-weekly.
yeah, well, yeah, because bi-weekly can mean both of them. It can mean twice a week or every 2
other
weeks.
week. Every
I
other
mean,
week.
But
Like,
it's
when
going
I
to be
see-
every other week.
Like when I see like comics, they say or I've seen comics, they say like their run is bi-weekly. That means like it's every other
Yeah.
week. You don't get a comic every
Yeah.
new. God, because like
but
weekly comics is just like a mine or just like a wallet sink
Yeah.
or whatever.
I'm gonna do this right now.
I'm
Google
pretty sure
bi-weekly.
it can mean both. It can
Oh,
mean
God.
twice a week or every other week.
Oh yeah, it is or. 'cause
Yeah,
I
it
looked
could
up
be either. So
I
it's
looked at
really
the
dumb.
definition of bi-weekly: done, produced, or occurring every 2 weeks or twice a week.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
exactly. It's dumb. Okay, we're doing it every other week, which
Yeah.
honestly you might be used to because we've kind of been doing that the past few
Yeah, you guys have been
few
practicing
episodes,
that.
past month and a half or so,
Yeah.
just because Jacob's been super busy. So yeah, we're only gonna put out an episode every 2 weeks, and we are no longer gonna do the topic like 4 topics like structured show.
Yeah.
We're just gonna turn it more into a conversational show because it was always a pain in the ass to find.
Yeah, sometimes
both-
it's hard to get 4
Sometimes
topics.
it's
and then
hard to
other
get
It's hard to
times
get
four
one
topics.
topic sometime. Kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Some
Well,
weeks nothing important happens.
Sometimes also there'll be so many topics that we want to talk about
Yep.
and then we can't because
we have to cut stuff. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Like so, it was a pain in the ass to either find 4 topics or cut down to 4 topics. And the other thing is sometimes there are topics where we want to talk about it for an hour, and sometimes there's topics where we want to talk about it for 5 minutes, and we still
Yeah.
want to talk about it, but it might not lead to a super long discussion. So
Yeah.
that whole 4 topics trying to be somewhat even length, kind of like really. I think
didn't
it
work.
really it just didn't work.
It's hard to
really
do it
hindered
for, yeah.
our ability to put out what we wanted.
Yeah, it's hard to do
Yeah.
that for something as like fast moving as K-pop, where there's literally new
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
happening every. So like limiting yourself or like it's trying to sort of space it out. It didn't work, and I mean I feel like
I think also it can be kind of restrictive too for the format we use as free flowing as a podcast as well.
yeah because
Yeah.
this is really just a conversation.
It should be
not just-
conversational.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
where
And
it's hard to
it
cut
stopped us from flowing into each other.
Yeah, because if you just have to cut it off after a certain
Yep,
point,
exactly.
it feels like we leave a lot on the table. And I mean,
Yeah.
basically, just like the basic idea is like, okay, it's just whatever we want to talk about or whatever you guys want to talk about for like an hour and a half. Basically, that's the goal of
Yeah.
And then
the
Andrew
name.
just alluded to the other thing is Andrew won't.
It's been on the screen since
be
like the
on-
beginning of the topic. So
Oh, really?
the surprise is
Andrew
sort
won't
of
be a main host anymore. So this
Yeah.
will be Jacob and me. Andrew will guest occasionally. We'll keep having Baron, Sam. Hopefully we can get Jakari in.
I really want to be on a podcast with
We really
Jakari.
need
I haven't
Jakari
yet.
on. Like,
Yeah, no,
he
like,
was
I
so
really
good.
have-
He was
I
so
have-
good in Queendom Cast.
Yeah, Jakari is incredible, and I
So-
think everyone that covered for me, whether it be Jakari or Sam or Baron, you guys, you took care of my baby, basically. You guys took care of my
Yep.
baby, so I have to I should get something for Jakari to thank him.
Yep. But Andrew's not leaving.
I'm not leaving. I'm in too deep at this
Leaving.
point.
Yep. And then the other thing is we will no longer be doing the super structured reviews. We'll still review stuff. We'll still talk about what we liked
Yeah.
that week or whatever we're listening to and just kind of review it in a more casual format.
Yeah.
But that'll lead into what Andrew's going to be doing. So go ahead, Andrew.
Well, first, DaebakCast is changing its name to Truly
Oh
Daebak
yeah,
Show.
I forgot we're changing.
Like
we're
the
going to
most
change the
important
name to
thing that's
Truly
been on the
Daebak Show
screen
as well.
this whole
I forgot about that part.
Yes, because I don't know, just DaebakCast is I feel like we've sort of outlived the
This'll-
usefulness of the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Truly
I mean,
Daebak
that was-
Show it'll be more searchable for us.
Yeah.
It'll be easier to get our name
mean,
out there and stuff because
Also,
Even from the
DaebakCast
beginning.
DaebakCast was just the original name of the channel,
the channel
to begin with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
we changed it to Truly Daebak because we wanted to be
We
able
wanted to
to
have a
do
more generic
other
name.
stuff.
Yeah,
well, also we
exactly.
wanted to be able to do stuff other than just the podcast. If we
yeah,
wanted.
yeah, exactly.
So, and I feel like this, I guess branding, so to speak, is we more identify with that now. Anyways,
yeah, kind of long overdue. And
exactly. We're like, DaebakCast is like not really something we're branded as the Truly Daebak, or like as Truly Daebak. Like,
yeah, I identify with.
We might as well brand
our
podcast that. So if people search for Truly Daebak, they find our podcast. And
also when people find out that I like use podcast, it's like, oh, what's it called? And I'll be like, I always want to say Truly Daebak instead of DaebakCast.
Yeah,
and
it's just be a pain in the ass. Yeah.
But it's better at least to make it like just a phrase that you can just search now.
Yeah,
it's anonymous
Truly
with
Daebak
the show and the channel and everything.
Yeah, it makes sense that the Truly Daebak has the Truly Daebak show. It seems, I don't know, it sounds more professional in a way. It sounds like we have like, I don't know, like a late night talk show or something like that, like the Truly Daebak show, and we have like our own like musical like performance. Maybe that could be happen one day. Maybe we can maybe one day somebody will make the like the Conan or like the I don't know, just like the Tonight Show.
We'll kick Stephen Colbert out of his
it will just have nothing but K-pop artists.
Yeah.
That's a dream. But as for what I'll be doing, as Nate mentioned, I'm going to be taking a step back from full-time DaebakCast or Truly Daebak show duties. As much as I love the podcasting format, I've just it's definitely sort of something that's been building for a while, and I guess it's sort of been there since the beginning with like vlogs and whatnot. I've just sort of creatively, and this is very much a creative outlet for me. I love what I do. As much like sitting there for like 5 hours editing might be a pain in the ass, but just to see what the fruits of my labor are is definitely the most rewarding part of what we're doing. And I just sort of feel a calling to do more edited content or more stuff where it's just me doing a voiceover talking about sort of K-pop topics or just anything basically that's sort of just a shorter, not really podcast type, more like I guess traditional YouTube content in that sort of sense. In terms of reviews, I guess I'm sort of going to be the one sort of handling, I guess, reviews from now on, at least in terms of like voiceovers and like how to do it. I guess the inspiration that I'm really drawing this from is like either, IGN or Easy Allies for previously game trailers and the way they sort of broke down, different aspects of like, I don't know, reviews and like reviewing stuff. And I don't really feel like there's anything like that in the K-pop space right now. So I want to be the one that takes that challenge, or I want to be the one to sort of make that a thing, reviewing K-pop albums and that kind of type of style. So yeah, that's the plan. I mean, assuming I don't just get nuked off, we don't get nuked off the face of the earth because I have to use like sound clips and maybe like music video clips. I mean, it is a review. Technically, it does fall under fair use, but that's the idea. Is that I want it to be more like reviews that like what you see with like video game reviews or movie reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
And I might do movie reviews as well. If I saw Parasite like a couple months ago, and I thought that was incredible, and I still really want to see it. It's so fucking good, man. You have to see it. It's so good. I really need to go back and watch all the other movies previous. So like Snowpiercer or whatever. But I need, I'd love to.
Snowpiercer was good.
Yeah, I need to sort of get into those.
Snowpiercer is really good.
Yeah, like I'd love to do reviews. I want to do sort of maybe. I've discussed, maybe sort of like important events in K-pop history and sort of doing like maybe like a history type show. Because there's a lot of there's a lot of sports channels I watch where like they say, oh, like everything leading up to this one moment in like or like one play or whatever, just like, or it's, I guess, sort of breaking down important moments in K-pop history. I'd also maybe love to do maybe just sort of video essay type things, like give my opinion on certain topics or breaking news or just sort of like what I think of a particular news topic or that sort of thing. Or my super like reach dream goal is doing Vice style documentaries. I've always wanted to do something like that with like I was talking about this with Stu, just like one night he was just randomly like, like ask me, what is like my dream with all of this, or what is your like my like aspiration, and I'd love to do something like that where basically do something like Vice or like Asian Boss in terms of just like covering content in that sort of way in sort of like investigative journalism and to some degree. I mean, obviously I don't have the resources to just fly to Korea and do stuff like that, but I mean that is the dream. Like my first idea would be like sort of the death of pro wrestling in Korea, because pro wrestling used to be a really big thing in Korea. One of the all-time greats in Japan, Riki Dojan, he's actually originally Korean. So it's sort of like why they revered him as an idol, and like really if you ask people in Korea, like only the older generation really follows pro wrestling. I mean, when we were in Korea, like they were showing like WWE on like TV there like occasionally, but I mean it's not really a thing. So I'd love to make a documentary as to like the history of Korean pro wrestling or why it died, and stuff like that. Like stuff like I find incredibly fascinating, and it's a story that no one has really told, at least in video format. So yeah, that's the stuff that's really been fascinating me as of late.
That's something as well that I also would like to do, is stuff particularly about Korean culture and not just K-pop.
Yeah, because I feel like there's more that we can touch than just reviewing music and everything.
Yeah, and also like I don't know, if we did get to do like things like that, it'd be amazing. I'd love to be able to travel to Korea again, and yeah. One day I'll go
just
back.
wants an excuse to go back.
Dude, for real.
I want an excuse to go back.
It took me 7 years. Took way too long.
I need an excuse to go back.
Honestly, I'm gonna be back there in less than that, I think.
Yeah, I might go back like maybe in 2021. Like I want to go. I just miss cheap barbecue, because friggin' it's $20 a person here. It's like we pay $20 for all of us.
$5 in Korea.
Yeah.
And then there's also like, you want soju, you pay $1 for a whole bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, no, soju here is like $5.
Cheaper than water.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. Maybe my heart, my eyes might be bigger than my stomach, but I'd love to do like sort of like cool stuff like that with videos. I'd love to do reviews. I'd love to maybe get into like I've been sort of getting into J-pop a bit more. Maybe I could sort of try my hand at reviewing that, because again, nobody really outside of our friends over at Slope Club or at with 48 Talk, there's other pockets of Japanese music that people haven't really touched upon, at least in sort of this type of format. I mean, I don't have to restrict it to like just Japanese music. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like what 88 Rising is doing that I'd love to cover, or just I'd love to discover. I mean, my parents' homeland of the Philippines, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I'm actually next year when I'm going to the Philippines, I might I'm gonna try to sort of secure interviews with either MNL48 or SB19. Because I'm sure that they'd want like English interviews out there somewhere. So I'd love to do stuff like that. I guess it's just there's a lot of ideas I want to do, and I feel like I definitely feel a lot more inspired to take all of this on in 2020. But yeah, it would that is why I have to sort of step back from doing the podcast. And I'm not gonna my face isn't gonna disappear.
I think this is a good idea though, because it's less restrictive, not just creatively but also like timeline wise. This sort of stuff doesn't have to come out at a particular time
week.
like
because
just
doing something every week for the past 3 years is just it's time consuming, especially for this isn't our job. Like, we don't make a single dime off this, unfortunately. I mean, we should probably start a Patreon as well, but I mean,
honestly, it's a miracle we were this consistent for this long.
Most
podcasts do not work.
They're a flash of the pan.
They take very long breaks regularly. So, yeah, it's just this will work out because it diversifies like the type of content we have. I think it'll be a lot more flexible on all of us in terms of scheduling and workload and stuff. So I think it'll work out.
I hope it works. We say that now, but yeah, we'll definitely adjust as to whatever we can handle. And I mean, my goal is to not not overburden
I
myself.
don't think our regular podcast listeners are gonna like leave us because they only get one every 2 weeks now instead of one every week.
They might enjoy it even more because I feel like the conversation will definitely
it'll be
improve.
more
And I for everyone that's just stuck by with us since day one, I thank you. I'm happy that you're listening to us. I'm happy that, especially if you're in our Discord community, I appreciate all of you that, you're willing to engage, or that what we do matters enough that you, find a home or find a, identify with what we're doing. And I hope that, I just hope, that's all I want, really. I just hope that it makes some type of difference, or it makes you, happy, or it makes you feel at home with whatever we're doing. And, that's been the end goal. If you resonate with it, if you don't, that's just, that's just all I've wanted out of this. And, I'm still happy. As down as I've been on myself, I'm still happy with what we've been able to achieve. We're just three people. We're just three people like trying to do this in like an ocean of just like other K-pop content and everything. And,
Yeah.
we're like a cockroach. You can't kill us. I'm still alive.
It is really crazy.
I'm
like
still
whenever I like show the channel to people, they're always we're like really taken back by how much content we've made.
how many videos we put out. Yeah,
like it's crazy. Like,
well,
and
because
they're
it
all
looks
like
we
an
put
hour
out
long.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we put out something literally every day, which we did. I mean, it was kind of cheating because we cut one piece of content up.
It's
every weekday for 3 years almost.
What we pretty much did was release a new video every 4 days a week, basically. If you put it like into perspective, so it's like
but we won't be doing that anymore.
But
that's okay. Don't worry about if you watch on YouTube, it'll still go up on YouTube. It's just gonna be once every 2 weeks. We're not gonna have the every all week or every day of the weekday.
Yeah, I think it serves us better for metrics as well, where
because
it's less
consolidate
confusing.
our views.
Yeah, it's less clutter on our channel. There's just one video we can link to sort of like direct people to whatever we're talking about.
Yep. And we'll still do timestamps and stuff, so like if you only care about a specific group that we're talking about or a specific topic, like you can still check out the video, just click on the timestamp and jump to the part you care about, but it's not going to be as like rigid of like cuts between topics and stuff.
So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too.
I think it'll work out. And thing to note, this will be our last episode
of the year
before that happens, and of the year, because we've got a lot we got to work on Truly Daebak Awards, which is a lot of work, and also just preparing. It's holidays. We're going to be busy with family stuff and holiday stuff.
And I'm starting a new job, so like I probably
Andrew's
can't
starting a new job. Jacob's finishing up a semester. And then we gotta figure out a new brand for this podcast because we need graphics. Jacob.
I have everything. What do you think? This whole show
you already made Truly Daebak show?
Yeah.
You already made that?
The Truly Daebak, I'm giving everyone a preview.
Oh, really?
The
I
Queendom
did not
cast,
know you made that.
The Queendom cast overlay.
Jacob.
Yeah, we already have the overlays. Like,
I knew you were going to be planning on using the Queendom cast overlay style, but I didn't know you actually.
Yeah, it's just the Queendom
for...
cast, but in red and blue. Like this thing looks amazing. Like I hope. Let us know. You give us your feedback on what this looked like, because I feel like this is a way better sort of format. Having us all vertically, or just having like everything like set up this way, I feel is a lot nicer. Or just having a more interesting background than just black. It's a lot more interesting. So I mean, maybe one day when I get more confident with like After Effects, I can make this thing move or whatever. So that's the goal. Make it look like like the Pepsi logo, or like I don't know, just like a wave or whatever. Basically, it just looks like the Pepsi logo or whatever. So that's the goal.
Okay, well, disregard that comment then. I didn't realize Andrew already made it way before.
That's the last thing I did before I went on my hiatus. So
that's why it was so long ago. That's why I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that was 3 months ago. So it's
like 4 months ago. Okay, yeah, I think that's it for this topic and this episode.
So yeah, definitely let
2019.
Yeah,
Catch
let us know
in
what
the
your
next
thoughts
decade.
are. Yeah, catch us in the next decade.
Yes.
That's crazy. I mean,
And
definitely
you can still talk to us on Discord. Just join
Yeah.
Discord,
Yes.
and then we'll be there.
yeah, let us know what your
for
thoughts are
rest
on the
of year.
whole. Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on the whole. Rebranding or just like
reorganizing.
truly Daebak 4.0, I guess is what we're gonna call it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the one that does this anymore. So,
No, yeah,
Jacob, take us
Jacob's
out.
got to do the.
All right. So, if you enjoyed, please subscribe. Please leave comments. We love, hearing from you guys, especially like your thoughts on particular topics. We try to respond. Join Discord. Please, it's honestly like the best way to like contact us, meet other people who are, I guess like us basically, who want to go this in depth in the K-pop and talk about K-pop and want to talk about other stuff. Like just in general, it's a really cool place to be. So also, I guess if you listen on audio services, please leave reviews. We definitely appreciate that. Yeah.
Don't say Cooper sucks because iTunes won't accept the review.
Yes.
No,
that
that
Cooper
was
sucks.
what got her to be accepted.
Oh, okay. So
She
leave Cooper.
couldn't put it. They wouldn't accept her review until she titled it "Cooper Sucks."
Okay.
All right.
Then
So
they
everyone,
let her.
everyone title
right.
review
It's
Cooper
opposite.
sucks,
Cooper
but then tell
sucks.
Cooper how much you love him.
Yes. So, anyways, I guess you'll catch us next time on the Truly Daebak Show
Oh, that feels funny.
2020. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Love you
with
all.
that, thank you and good night.
I love you guys.
Robbingly
Robbingly love
guys.
you.
Oh, I can't do that all the time anymore.